Hello everyone, Claire here, and welcome to my Let's Make Series 5, which is all about making this Noel album that I featured on my Graphic 45 featured artist spot. It's a paper bag album, the first paper bag album I've made, and it's made up of 6 paper bags with a chipboard cover. So this video covers how to make the cover. I've adapted it slightly because this wasn't particularly robust. So here's my suggestions for putting together the binder to put the paper bags into. And for those ladies that can't get, or gentlemen I should say as well, who can't get hold of paper bags, I've got an idea for pockets as well as a substitute. So let me take you through what we need to start. 1 piece of 12 by 12 chipboard. I just buy it white and then cover it. 2 pieces of 11 by 8 card. I used black card, but for the video I'm going to use craft card so that you can see what I'm doing, and it shows up better than the black. And what we're going to make, here's a black example, it's looking a bit rough, is a binder that you slot the pages onto. And this idea I got from Laura at Following the Paper Trail. Loved watching Laura's videos, she's really inspirational and great fun. And so I've adapted what she did to fit the paper bag album, the Noel album. For the cover I've got 2 pieces of chipboard which are 9 inches by 5 1/4, and then a spine piece that is 5 1/4 inches by 2 3/4, 2 spine covers, and they are 5 1/4 by 6 1/2. So there's 2 of those. And then for the flaps, let's do one at a time because they do get a bit complicated. I get them the right way up. Let's hold it up so that you can see. This piece is 4 3/4 by 2 3/8, and then scored at 1 inch in from either side to give a 3/8 of an inch spine. So that's piece 1. Piece 2 is, here we go, let's get it straight, 4 3/4 inches in height by 3 1/8 inch across, again scored at 1 inch from either edge. And the third piece is, get it straight, 4 3/4 inches high by 3 7/8 wide, and again scored at either edge 1 inch in. Let's just say hi to Ollie, he's come in. So first we're going to build up the slots that the paper bags or pockets fit onto. And to do that, let's just move that out of the way. Here's some plain ones that I've got. First of all, use your bone folder just to flatten down the score lines so that the flaps fold both ways. And it just gives a better finish to the album, and it means that they're quite flexible then. So if you do that with each one, and then put a strip of, I've used 3mm tape, a really fine one, put a strip of that down either edge of each of the folds, but on the bit that's going to stick flat. So 1, 2, 3, I've done those. And then to help you line them up, or just to help me line them up really, I centred, I'll put the biggest one down flat, and then centred the second one over the top and just drew a pencil line down either side or either edge of the one I laid over the top, just to help me line it up when I start to stick them together. And then I did that again for the smaller one that fits on the top. And the pencil lines will be hidden once the pages of the album are slotted together. So we'll start with the little one first. Just remove the sticky strip and line it up with your pencil lines that you've drawn and the top and bottom edge. And then, oh, whoops, drop it down and press down firmly. You can press down with your bone tool as well, just to give it a really good some pressure. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, and then do exactly the same with the second one. Take your strips off. And, oh, I should have done this before. Okay, done that. And then line up with your pencil marks and the top and bottom edges. And lay that one down too. And again, fold your flaps up and just press down with your bone tool so that you get a good contact, is the word I wanted. And that's it. That is ready now to fit into the album, which we're going to make next. Let's put that to one side. So take your spine out of the chipboard, and one of the spine covers, the 5 1/4 by 6 1/2 pieces of card, and put down the edges 2 strips of sticky tape. I use the little thin tape. This is our local equivalent of the red line tape because it's the most sticky I've found. I always use the 3mm, so I seem to use twice as much, but it's really, really good. So I've put 2 strips of that down either side of, or either short edge of the spine cover, and then you need to have some strips on your spine as well to stick that down. So let me just put those on and we'll carry on. Okay, I've done that, so I'm just going to peel those off. I don't know what I'm holding it actually. There's always one that doesn't come off. Got it. Okay, now on my mat I've lined up the card so that I can centre the spine using the squares on the mat, but you could do that with pencil if you wanted to. And I'm just going to drop that down there. Okay, so that's the first stage of making the binding. Next I added 2 strips of tape about 1/4 inch away from the edge of that spine piece that we've just stuck down, so that the covers stick to this back piece of card. And then we're going to take the top covers off the tape on one side and add the spine. So I'm lining it up with the lines on the mat, and then I've got a shim that I made from a double width of the chipboard that I'm using for the cover, and I'm just going to place that between the spine and the cover, and then line the cover up, making sure that it's straight, and press down. And the reason I've done that is to give some flexibility to the cover. If you line the two pieces of chipboard up and they rub together, it increases the wear on the card that you've put on the front. So that's cover number one, and then we're going to do the same for the other side. This is the difficult side because I'm left-handed. I can't do this with my right hand. No, let's not try. Last one off. Sticking to me. Okay, so let's do the same again. So take your shim, put everything up so that it's straight. Okay, shim in. You really need 300 hands to do this, but as we've only got two, to make do, and then line up and press down. And then when you've pressed down, just fold it over. And that gives you a really nice, really neat outer cover for your binder. Okay, now the inside piece we're going to add like this. We're going to stick the flaps to the inside piece and then the inside piece to the cover. So let's turn that over. I've put some tape on the back of all of the flaps on the widest part of the bottom. I'm just going to put one more on. Little tip for adding your tape, always make sure that you cut it slightly short of the edge, and then you won't see the shiny bits of tape on your finished product. Put that on there. Right, let's take these off. That one off. Let's just move the binder out of the way a minute. Right, again I'm going to line that up. Where shall I line it up? Let's line it up with a white line in the centre. That's it. And then I'm going to line this up. Now, these pieces are cut the width of the paper bag, and this piece is cut the width of the cover, which is slightly wider or deeper. So you need to centre this piece from side to side, but also from top to bottom, so that your pages sit evenly balanced inside your album. Okay, so I think that's okay. So centred it up, placed it down, and then using your bone tool, just firm down the bottom flap against the tape to make sure that it's well stuck. And there it is. That's the inside of your binder. And then we're going to stick this into here. Before I stick it on, I've put tape down each of the edges here. So end of the cover, edge of the spine, edge of the spine, edge of the cover, just to ensure that it all sticks together. But you don't want it to fall apart once you've built it all up. and done all of your beautiful work inside. So let's just strip these off there, and then strip these off, the backing tape off, I should say. Last one. Okay, now I'm going to line them all up again. So let's line it up on the mat. Where's my centre? There. Right, and then line the centre of the piece that you're matching up with the edges and stick it all down. And then just use your bone tool again just to go over the strips of tape. Just go into there. And that's everything put together. Now, very carefully fold it up, pushing the card that you've just stuck on down into the fold. I use my bone tool just to do that, just to give a neat fold. So fold it up gently, and then just very, very gently just push the card into the fold, and that's it, all made. Let's just push it down that way, push it down that way, and there it is, one finished binder ready to have the pages added in the middle. The 3/8 of an inch space in between each of these flaps just gives you enough room to put all sorts of embellishments on the pages, and it will make sure that your album doesn't do that when it's finished. It will keep it nice and flat. And then it's ready to either put on your paper bags, or if you're making a pocket and haven't got the paper bags, to slot those over the tabs here. So if you're going to add a pocket that isn't a paper bag, this is a piece of card that I've cut. It's 9 inches with a 3/4 of an inch tab, so 9 3/4 inches. I've scored it at the same width as the width of the tab here. So mine were 4 3/4. So this has been scored at 4 3/4 twice, with a flap to fold under to make the pocket. So if I just take these strips off, let's just move that a minute. I've run my bone tool over the fold. Let's just do it again. And no, let's not do that one. Do it before you put the glue, peel the backing off your tape. And then make your pocket. And then that fits very neatly right over. And push right down. And then you need to stick that by putting tape at the bottom edge here, and then very carefully slotting that over. I don't know if you can see that. And then pushing it onto the tape, and that will give you a really nice, if you can see, envelope pocket. If you're using paper bags, I wanted to get the maximum length out of the bag, so the bottom of the bag that comes folded like that, I folded back on itself and then put tape either side of that bottom, and then let's take the binder, sandwiched it over each one of these tabs out of the spine. But I didn't do that, or I didn't add my pages to my album until I'd finished them all, and then I decided which order I wanted them to go in. I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of the series, and speak to you in part 2.